everyone. I'm Kim Eaton. I work for CDCR in the Office of Legal Affairs, and this is my son.
Matthew.
No, this is Matthew. Matthew has type 1 diabetes, and today we're going to talk a little bit about JDRF and how you can actually utilize your Our Promise form to pledge to them.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Vidulich. I am the Director of Development Operations for JDRF's Northern California chapter. I'm so excited to be here with you today. I personally am living with type 1, have been since I was 8 years old, so your support means the world to me and to everyone in the type 1 diabetes community. So thank you very much. So JDRF is the leading nonprofit funding type 1 diabetes research. We have a singular focus and mission to cure type 1, and we are funding research that is new and exciting and make sure that those living with type 1 have a bright future. And so we have a mission and vision that one day there will be type 1 will turn into type none. And so with your help, we know that we can achieve that. So type 1 is a chronic autoimmune disease. It can strike adults and children at any time, and there currently is no cure for type 1. And so it's not due to diet or lifestyle like some people might believe, but we are trying to make sure that we spread awareness in the community so that people who are experiencing symptoms or know anybody can make sure that the right treatment is being taken. And so with type 1, we have blood sugar levels that can be fluctuating due to insulin not being produced by the body anymore. And so insulin is a hormone needed to turn energy or turn food into energy for us. So people with type 1 actually take injections or wear an insulin pump. And so this actually delivers insulin to them continuously to help regulate our blood sugar levels. With type 1, if we don't keep our blood sugar levels in range, some serious complications could happen. And that's why type 1 diabetes is so important that we find a cure for this. It could lead to blindness, heart attack, stroke if not properly treated with insulin. So I wanted to let you guys know that JDRF's focus is to do the greatest good for the largest number of people in the shortest amount of time. And the way we do that is through the wonderful research that we are funding. Some areas that JDRF focuses on for research, there are 7 key areas, and those are artificial pancreas treatment. So that is taking those blood sugar levels as well as insulin delivery and creating devices that communicate with one another in order to make sure our blood sugar is in range constantly. So this will also prevent those complications. Beta cell replacement also helps with implanting protected insulin producing cells within the body, which is exciting. Complications, as I previously mentioned, if we don't have type 2 could later down the line lead to some complications. So we want to make sure that we're preventing that, and those who are facing complications currently have some treatment options. Glucose control, so we want faster acting insulin so that we don't have to keep manipulating and adding multiple doses of insulin per day. That will help us keep us tighter range. Immunotherapies are really exciting. This is something that will turn off the autoimmune attack within the body that's producing a beta cell attack, so that those who might have some prelim type diabetes or pre-diabetes, we can actually make sure that those beta cells are not killed off and they won't eventually get type 1, which is very exciting. Along the same lines, there is prevention. Is there a form of treatment like a vaccine that everybody can get to make sure that they don't get type 1? And then the last but not least is beta cell regeneration. And this is modifying therapies that promote the survival of insulin producing cells within the body. So a lot of exciting things happening right now that JDRF and the research community are working on. And this is all to support of the community, just like you guys. So thank you. So JDRF would not be able to fund this groundbreaking research without its amazing volunteers and supporters. And today I have the pleasure of introducing you to a wonderful family who has been affected by type 1. Their story has inspired me, and I know it will you as well. So with that, I'd like to introduce Kimberly and Matthew to share their story.
I have type 1 diabetes.
Yes, type 1 diabetes. So when Matthew was 2.5, he was with the babysitter, and the babysitter had given me a call and said, Kim, I think something's wrong. Matthew doesn't feel well. He's not himself today. I said, okay, what's going on? Well, he's kind of being aggressive and actually not playing well with others. And he actually even was punching the other kids. So not good. I then said, okay, let me finish up here at work and I'll come on over and get him. Well, probably about 2 minutes later, I got another call. Kim, Matthew's throwing up. I'm like, okay, something is definitely not right. So my husband and I had both noticed that things were a little off with Matthew, that he had needed water very frequently. And when he did have water, it was a ton of water. One symptom of diabetes, they have a very, very thirsty palate. They're constantly craving liquid. I had already made an appointment for Matthew to be seen because we suspected that there was a problem. Well, that appointment was on Friday, and Matthew got sick on Thursday. So
How did that happen?
Well, it just happened. Took him in, had some tests ran, and the doctor comes back with a very concerned look on his face, of course. And he says, well, I don't mean to alarm you, but there could be, Matthew could be in ketoacidosis right now. And of course, I'm like, keto huda wada?
What is that?
Exactly how we felt. So Matthew was in diabetic ketoacidosis. So he was basically shutting down. So we went straight to the hospital and spent the next 4 days trying to figure out what we needed to do, how we needed to do it, and how quickly we needed to do it. There was one point in Matthew's visit that that Matthew was non-responsive. Very, very scary point for my family, obviously. I finally kind of pushed my way back in there. Of course, I was scared to death and started just kind of doing my own motherly thing and kissing on Matthew, talking to Matthew. Come on, buddy. You got to wake up. We got a long time ahead of us here. You can't do this. So the doctor had left the room to call in for other staff, and at that point Matthew just, Mommy. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. So at that point he woke up again. He was talking and just really concerned about what was going on around him. Obviously, they began taking more blood and doing more tests, and the next 3 days while we were there, I spent learning about diabetes and type 1 and how important life changes were going to be for us at our home. We started out with finger sticking, which comes along with diabetes testing strips, which we have plenty of those. The testing strips are put into a testing meter here, and with this meter, he then pricks himself with the needle.
But I don't want to do it by myself.
No, we don't have to do it, son. And then we check his blood with this. So this is how we started out with his diabetes. We had to load syringes with insulin and remove it from the vial itself and put it into the needle, and then obviously give it to him. There's just so many different things happening and going on that the amount of just stuff that you need is so overwhelming. The beauty of JDRF is all the research and all the studies they're doing have allowed children and adults to have simpler things
JDR.
to deal with their diabetes. Matthew is currently a Dexcom user. Please sit up.
And
And
that's on my test.
A Dexcom is an instrument that, a tool, I guess you'd say, that it comes in a package that is then used to insert, oh, just put it, thank you. It's used to insert the Dexcom transmitter, sends a message to Matthew's pump, which tells us exactly where Matthew is and what his blood sugars are. It's 24/7 for my husband and my older daughter as well, because we all have to be aware of what's going on. It's like I said, it just becomes second nature for us. And Matthew is a trooper. He, obviously, as you can all see, he's a very normal 6-year-old boy, very active. Normal activities for him. We just watch where he is and what he needs, and we just adjust accordingly.
I can show it, but I also have the Dexcom and the T-Slim. Yeah, we're rocking it.
Awesome.
So yeah, I use the Control IQ as well, and it worked wonders. When I was diagnosed, our only option was injection of insulin with shots, and we were put on a very strict diet because the insulin that was available at that time was what we call long lasting. So you gave one shot in the morning, and then we had our regular insulin, which kind of lasted like roughly 3 hours, but it wasn't always precise. Right now, there's so much exciting research that is on the brink of being put into human clinical trials. And so the extra funding that keeps these trials going make sure that advancements are being made each and every day. You can support us through the Our Promise campaign this year, but beyond that, we would love your support as advocates, making sure that the community is aware of type 1 diabetes, and also supporting any federal funding, because that's through our special diabetes program that makes the research also possible. So you can visit jdrf.org/advocacy if you'd like to sign up to be an advocate. And also we have an exciting virtual JDRF One Walk coming up this year. And so if you visit walk.jdrf.org, it's a great way to learn about the fun and exciting things that are happening around our walk program. So we're uniting the community, even if we can't be together in person this year due to COVID, but we want to make sure that everyone feels supported, that the research continues to happen, that we make sure that the cure is on its way, and the One Walk is a great way to support that effort.
Like I mentioned, it's just another family. It's a resource available. Any questions, any concerns. Matthew and I have done a fundraiser ourselves outside of Amy Hardware in Sacramento, and the number of people that are willing and very interested, especially when you have a child, you know, babies and puppies, people don't pass them up. So there are lots of interest. People are always interested about what's going on, and JDRF is definitely a location, a place that anyone who has experienced issues or questions or concerns about diabetes, they're an amazing resource and available to anyone. So they give you, we didn't leave the hospital without all this paperwork and amazing things that JDRF has put together. So had I not had that stuff when I came home, I probably would have left there kicking and screaming, no, please keep me. Don't make me do this on my own. So that would be a huge reason as to why I would say, please, if you want to donate and you don't know where to donate, JDRF is a great place.
JDR is special still. Yeah.